Lesson 21. Level B1. B1 plus. Past perfect simple. Before, I had. Story 1.
Margaret, 36 years old, USA. Before I moved to the United States 3.5 years ago, I had spoken very little English. I had only known a few basic words and expressions, like hello, thank you, and nice to meet you. My sister and her husband had been here many times before I came, and they had encouraged me to at least experience what it feels like to live here for a few months. Before I took the risk and moved, I had signed up for an online English course. I was motivated to learn, but I still couldn't get the hang of the language. The first few months in the new country were rough. I didn't know anyone, so I felt lonely and isolated. Before I was invited to my very first job interview a few weeks later, I had rehearsed it many times with my teacher. I didn't feel confident, but somehow I got the job. As you can see, my English is much better now. I'm glad that I didn't give up.
Story 2.
Adam, 31 years old, Poland. Before my wife and I adopted our daughter Zofia, we had talked about adoption countless times. Before we decided to adopt, we had carefully researched all our options. We had contacted 3 orphanages in our city. When the director of one of them told us about Zofia, we were very moved by her story. She lost her mom at the age of 2. Before Zofia's mom died, she had been sick for a long time and hadn't been able to take care of her daughter. Zofia was placed in the orphanage when she was just 8 months old. As soon as we met her for the first time, we knew that we wanted her to be a part of our family. Before we could take her home, we'd had to fill in loads of documents, and we had talked to a psychologist. The psychologist had also visited us at home, and she had interviewed our family and friends. It was a long and complicated process, but we are so happy that we completed it.
Story 3.
Rodrigo, 27 years old, Portugal. Before my girlfriend's parents visited me for the first time, I had been extremely nervous. I had never hosted a partner's parents before, so I didn't know what to expect. Before they came for dinner on Saturday, I had cleaned every corner of my apartment. I had also bought some fresh flowers and a brand new shirt, and, of course, I had cooked a delicious meal. I don't cook very often, but I went out of my way to impress them. Before I prepared the menu, I had discussed it with my girlfriend because she knew exactly what her mom and dad liked and disliked. Right before they knocked on the door, she had done everything she could to calm me down. I'll tell you a little secret. Before I let them in, I had quickly poured myself a glass of wine and drunk it to relax a bit and give myself some courage. It probably wasn't the smartest idea, but it worked.
The end of Lesson 21.